Well, my fellow adventurers, welcome back to Living the Grand Adventure. Kevin here, once again on the trail. First time in a good little while. It's been about a year actually, 11 months to be exact, since I did my 46 climbs last year. Haven't been on trail since. It's been a series of misadventures, a little bit of tragedy, things like that. Kind of go over it a little bit with you in the video later on. But right now, I'm just kind of eager to be back on trail. Right now, I'm actually doing a kind of a shakedown hike. I'm down at the Germantown Metro Park again, and gonna backpack for a couple of days, kind of explore the area again, take a look at it. It's been a while since I've been down here. Germantown, I haven't actually been here in almost 5 years. So I'm kind of eager to kind of check it out. Night one, we will be staying at the Cedar Ridge campground, camp area, if you will, Site B. And for the first time in 6 years, we will actually head over to the Oak Ridge camp tomorrow night. And that'll be, like I said, the first time in 6 years. We're staying at Site A there. Hammock camping, so that's gonna be fun. Not really any new backpacking equipment to speak of. It's more electronics. I've got a new camera that I'm using right now. Want to see how that turns out. Gotta learn the ins and outs of this camera. Also, I actually have a new Garmin watch that we're going to be taking a look at and using this trip. Got it tracking my steps right now. I actually have a map loaded into it. I do have the Instinct 3 solar, so it is solar powered, has solar panels in it. It's kind of neat. I'm looking forward to it. Started to go with the OLED version, but I kind of liked this one. It's a little bit more rugged looking, and I think it'll definitely suit my purposes, being solar powered and such. I have tested a little bit at home when it's actually in the full sun. It actually does charge a little bit. It definitely doesn't lose battery. But we'll get a good idea on how it does on this trip, because we're actually gonna be doing some miles. Today, not so much, probably about 2 to 3 miles, nothing major. We'll be in sight a little early today, which is fine. Tomorrow, however, looking to do anywhere from 7 to 10, depending on what side quest I decide to do, what little side routes. But for now, I'm just gonna make tracks, get over here to the Cedar Ridge camp and camp, guys. I'm looking forward to it. So we're about a mile in. Easy trail like normal. Germantown does have pretty easy trails. It's not super bad. Beautiful summer day. Just a few clouds in the sky. It is early August. I believe actually it's about the 8th. So yeah, starting to head towards the middle of August, but still nice weather. And I'm enjoying the trail. It's good to be back out finally. Said that a number of times. It's been a rough couple of years, to be honest. But like I said, I'll get into it when I get into sight. Some of the misadventures, I guess you'd say, and crazy stuff that's happened over the last 6 months to a year. But it is nice to be out and backpacking again. And I think I kind of deserve a night in the hammock. So guys, welcome to Site B here at the Cedar Ridge Camp. It's a pretty good hike in. Other than the heat, it's really well maintained trail. The heat's kind of overbearing right now. It's in the upper 80s. So yeah, pretty warm. Humidity's up a little bit, check that. So it's been pretty warm, but uneventful trail and completely maintained. Really enjoying that, as always here at Germantown. The Cedar Ridge campground does look very similar to what it's always looked like. I've been in here, I think this will be the third time, fourth time, something like that, and hasn't much changed. Sites are well maintained. They actually have, someone's brought in a couple of bigger logs to sit on. I brought my chair because this site normally doesn't have places to sit. So just so you know guys, for the first time, my base weight is actually under 10 pounds for a trip. I'm really excited about that. Even with a couple of luxuries. However, I don't have any fire equipment, anything like that, so that's one reason why. Anyway, I'm here, we'll get the pack off, we'll get site set up. We'll enjoy the evening, guys. right, well, site's almost set up completely. Got a few little things to do, but hammock's up, tarp's up. I'm not really expecting rain. However, when I did get into site, I did get a notification there's a possibility of a little bit of rain this evening. I don't figure it's going to be anything major. It's like a 20% chance, so I don't figure it's going to happen. Still by myself up in here. Looking at the website, you can always check and see who has reservations. I'm the only one who had a reservation here when I left home. I haven't checked since I got here, but I don't figure anybody's going to come in. So I figure I'm going to be by myself tonight. That's going to be kind of neat. According to the website, I'm probably going to be by myself tomorrow night as well. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's going to be a couple of nights alone. This one's a lot more isolated than the other one. However, you know, it's still a metro park. I'm hearing a lot of traffic out this way, like I have before when I've been up in here. So it's kind of cool. Not really worried about it. We might take a walk and look at the other sites here in a minute. For those who have not seen Germantown, you get an idea of what at least Cedar Ridge will look like, and Oak Ridge tomorrow. We'll look at the sites, any of them that's open that we can get to. They do have these posts here where you can hang your bag, and up here, little post where you hang your food bag. I mean, you're not really worried about bear or anything in this area. You know, we're just west of Dayton, Ohio, so you're not really worried about bear, but there are critters. You know, there are foxes in the area, of course, mice, chipmunks, squirrels, you know, the whole gambit there. So really, to be honest, what I worry about more here than anything as far as predators is humans. And if you go back years ago, I come up in here by myself. In fact, the first time I stayed here, the night before that, I had actually stayed at what's called the Pine Ridge campground, which is further south of here. It's actually in the Twin Creek Metro Park. I camped there my very first solo backpacking trip, my very first night. And it was an experience because I had a group of people come into the site, and I think they were trying to scare me out of it and hoping I would leave my equipment because they were acting like they were making Bigfoot sounds. Which, sorry, guys, I'm not scared of Bigfoot. If there is such thing, I don't figure he's going to bother me, especially in Ohio. Of course, they call it the grass man here, but you know. But anyway, guys, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty much set up. I didn't really bring a lot. I mean, literally, what I have laying here on the ground is what I brought. I've got a cook system. I've got my chair. There's a couple, well, I got camp socks and a spare pair of hiking socks. I always bring those just in case my feet get wet for whatever reason. That's my ditty bag. It has very few things in it. And this is basically camera equipment, which with this camera has gone down in weight. I've actually cut the weight in half because I've gone from a GoPro Hero 10. I started to go with the GoPro Hero 13, but I was not impressed with my 10. I did not like it. It did not operate the way I wanted it to. My 7 actually, in a lot of ways, was more reliable than my 10. So I've switched over. This is the DJI Action 5. Got some neat little things. This is an actual mic that goes with it, which I'm really enjoying. I can leave this sit down and I can walk 100 feet that direction and still talk to you guys. So I'm looking forward to being able to do some things like that, get better shots. Also, the lights with it, the mic setup and everything is a lot lighter, much more compact, and more reliable. So I'm looking forward to using this camera on trail going forward. The next trip, if you notice, guys, that's what I'm out here kind of conditioning for, is the 46 Climbs hike this year. 2025, this will be my 4th time in 5 years participating. I haven't made a determination on where I'm going to go, guys. If you have any suggestions, hit it up down below. I've done Spruce Knob last year. I also went to Dolly Sods right after that in West Virginia. That was really cool. It was the highest peak in West Virginia. Previously, I have done, actually I did one that I didn't record. I did the highest peak here in Ohio. It really wasn't that big a deal, but you know, it was all I could do at the time. I did skip basically 2 years ago. We first moved into the house we're in now. We bought a new home. So I wasn't able to do it then. That's why I only have 4 out of 5 the last 5 years. But in 2020, my first year, I actually went down to Shawnee State Forest here in Ohio. It's the hardest trail in Ohio, and I did the Southern Loop. That was a real fun trip though, because I got rained on and it was a blast. I like Shawnee. Like I said, if you guys have any suggestions, I'm willing to entertain them. Can't drive like out west or anything, you know, can't do a 14-hour drive, but you know, I have basically a week period where I could do it, you know, 4 or 5 nights, 3 nights, whatever it ends up being. So if you guys have any suggestions, help me out with the 46 climbs. And if you guys would like to donate, I do have a page. I'll put the link down below. Donate to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. That's what I'm hiking for, that and mental health issues. All that money goes to people who are suffering and really could use your help. And I have more to say about that here in a little while, probably while I'm doing dinner. Once again, talking about one of the reasons I've been off trail, guys. I'm getting my lunch out here, just kind of relax and kick my shoes off. Going to let my feet air out a little bit. I only hiked about 2.5 miles today, roughly, and yeah, just the heat kind of got me a little bit. I guess where I haven't been out too. You know, I've stayed in shape at the house, but actually being on trail, it still takes it out of you when you're not used to it. Figure I'd go ahead and, you know, talk about the elephant in the room, you know, where I haven't been on trail for 11 months or so. Basically, to start with, you know, I've had a couple of issues with my vehicle. It has broke down a couple of different times. In fact, last October, I had actually just bought this camera, and I was planning on going down to Red River Gorge for about 3 or 4 nights. And yeah, the Jeep broke down. It ended up being my shifter cable needed to be replaced. Not a bad replacement, but it took about a week for the part to come in. Jeep was out of commission for that amount of time, and by that time I'd missed my window. It was getting closer to Halloween, so in the winter, Jenny and I both actually had a bout of really bad either flu or pneumonia. We're not sure which, but we were sick for about 3 to 4 weeks, and right at the end of that, I actually injured my knee. So I had to kind of rehabilitate that for about a month, and that was the month of March. I got that kind of healed back up. You know, it was pretty decent by the middle of April. Was testing it, doing some, you know, day hikes and some walks around the city park and around the neighborhood and such, just making sure it was okay, my left knee. So if you happen to see me have a small brace on here, I do have one with me just in case if it flares up. I did the hike here and had no problems, so knock on wood, hopefully it'll be okay. This is the first backpacking year where I've actually carried some weight since that happened, so wanted to make sure it was good to go before I really got back on it. I was actually set up to do some backpacking in May and June, and I got news that my brother was in the hospital. You know, if you've been watching the channel for the last couple of years, you kind of may have heard a little bit. If not, my brother actually 2 years ago was actually told that he probably wouldn't survive 6 months. That, you know, they gave him a 6-month time limit that he would probably pass in that space of time. Well, he actually exceeded that. However, he did go into hospice towards the end of May, and in the middle of June he passed. So space of 2 years, I've lost both parents, my grandfather on my dad's side and my brother. So, you know, with my brother passing in June, I haven't really got a chance to do much this summer at all. You know, just a series of stupidity, just life in general, that's kind of prevented me from getting out like I wanted to. But I'm out this weekend right now, and I'm going to try to enjoy this trip. Losing my brother on top of everything that's happened over the last couple of years, losing everybody else and such, that was pretty rough. It's taken a toll on me, especially with how young he was. He was only 41, so it's not like, you know, he was older or anything. That's part of the reason I'm definitely doing the 46 climbs this year. He dealt with a lot of mental issues, depression. He did have suicidal thoughts. He talked about that all the time as well, especially as he got sicker as time went on. He abused alcohol and he abused drugs. I mean, he just had a lot of demons that he had to deal with. Over time, certain things that happened in his life got the better of him, depression and such. Just personal life stuff that I'm not going to divulge, but, you know, him dealing with that and me, you know, I tried to help him as much as I could. You know, he did go into rehab, and he have a couple of churches in the AA that he went to, but by the time he started doing that type of stuff, it was kind of too late. He'd already abused his body too much, and he did die of liver failure and kidney failure. So I have had a good support system since he's passed. My wife's been there for me, the kids, everything like that. So that's helped, but it's good to be back out and actually backpacking and feeling like I'm doing something productive and enjoying life again. But enough of the somber talk. I know you guys probably aren't here for that. You want to see me do some camp chores, backpacking, whatever. So, like I said, for lunch today, keeping it really simple because I'm lazy sometimes. I've got my Spam blocks. I'm gonna eat 2 of those. They're 230 calories a piece, so that's 460. And then I've got some Baby Bell cheese that is holding up in the heat. I think Colby Jack and stuff like that holds better, but they still seem to be kind of firm. I'm probably gonna try to eat most of these tonight. I might have a couple tomorrow. If they're not any good, I'll just toss them, but I'm gonna try it. Normally I carry these in the fall and the winter when it's cooler and they stay a lot fresher. So, but I was in the mood for them, so I picked up a batch. They had them on sale at the local grocery store, and I grabbed some. Cheers, guys. I'm gonna eat my Spam, stock up on some calories, probably give me some electrolytes in this bottle of water over here, and just relax and enjoy the woods now, guys. I'm pretty much set up. When you don't bring much in, you don't have much to do. Yeah, you know, one of the most enjoyable things I enjoy on trail is just, you know, when you get to site and you're trying to just kind of relax, but also getting those camp chores done and everything. It's just kind of cool to know that you can come out and enjoy yourself in the woods and just get things done. I don't know. I just enjoy the whole aspect of backpacking and camping and such like this. It's just really cool to get out and experience nature and to be able to share that with you guys as well, you know, because I really enjoy doing that. Sorry I'm under here. I'll show you what I'm doing here in just a second. It's a neat little thing I kind of come up with off trail over the last little bit. I actually thought of it this past spring. Thought, yeah, this might work pretty well. Initially, I thought about it for inside my tent, but we're going to try it here and see how it works. Now, of course, if it was super windy, this isn't going to work, guys, but I'll show you what I did. I've got my hiking socks hung up, and if you see, that's actually just little bread ties, and they kind of pinch and hold them together. Now, if it was super windy or anything like that, I wouldn't do this, but it's not supposed to be windy tonight, and I figure I can get them hung up like that. Okay, guys, so we're gonna take our little walk that I talked about, take a look at the other sites, leaving site B, of course, right back there, kind of nice. And it's just a little uphill. It's a little junction trail right here, goes out this direction. We're gonna go this way first. This will be site A. This is probably one of the least favorite sites, I would believe, because even trying to get a tent in here, it slants really bad this direction. There's not much flat area. This is probably the site, as far as the ones I've ever seen, I would recommend least. But this is site A. Of course, you've got your standard pole here. Someone left a sock on the ground. Okay. And let's head back this direction here. If we come right over here, this direction takes you back out of the site. That's the way we came in. Site C is over here. My very first solo backpacking trip, I actually stayed here my second night. This is the site I stayed in. Here we are at Site C once again. Pretty small. Site B is the biggest one. You could get a tent in here. This is kind of flat right through here. The rest of it is kind of slanted. What I actually did, I was in a hammock. I went between these two trees right here, which worked pretty well. But that's about the only spot you're gonna get a tent here. Cedar Ridge, if you're doing a tent, your best bet is to do Site B. Now, hammocks you can probably get into any site. I still think it's just so small, there's not much to it. It's probably my least favorite site here at Cedar Ridge, probably actually in the metro parks in general. Okay, and once again, we're back. This being the trail that goes out to each trail here, you know, out to A, B's right over here, C's there. We'll go up and take a look at what they call the common cook area. But this is the common cook area. This is actually where they want you to cook. You're supposed to bring your cook system up and cook right here. I always do it right at the site because it's just a small backpacking stove, no big deal. But you got a couple places to sit, place to cook, hang your bag. They even have the post up there to hang a food bag. I don't know why you ever do that here. Maybe if you don't want it in your sight. And of course, out this way takes us back to the trail. Up here is the privy. Ooh, looks like they've had some recent downfall up through here. Once again, it's maintained and cleared. It's kind of cool. It kind of stinks. You actually used to be able to walk right up through here, and there's actually a big field back here. This actually adjacent to a farm. I don't know if you can see right through there. There's actually fence. Maybe more on this side. Oh, actually, see, we'll walk over here real quick. Yeah, okay, you can actually walk out into the field. Once you step into this field, you're actually on private property, but I figure I'll show you how close we are to civilization, kind of. I mean, if you want to call it civilization. Oh, the field's overgrown right now. That's actually a farm right there. But, once again, we'll look at the porta potty here, the privy. It's not really a porta potty. I mean, it's clean, it's usable. You know, nothing special. But it does give you somewhere to go if you absolutely need to. But guys, that's all of Cedar Ridge. You know, I mean, it's nothing special, but it is something to do where you can actually get out, backpack, camp. Like I said, a lot of what I use it for is staging grounds for future trips, things like that. And it's a nice park, it's well maintained. You know, if you're in Western Ohio, this is one of the best places to come out and, you know, get your legs under you, especially if you're, you know, somebody new or wanting to try new equipment. I've always said that. They do also allow pets, like animal, you know, dogs up here. They can camp with you. So if you want to like train your dog to stay in a tent or camp with you or whatever, this is another good place to come. All right, guys. Well, it's coming up on 6 o'clock. I've been kind of relaxing, just enjoying the ambience of the forest here. Hear a lot of cars out this direction. I've heard some people yelling, and I actually heard some weird sounds out this direction. I'm not even sure what that was, but it's kind of interesting. There is an owl out this way now. I'm hearing it. It's doing the hoo-hoo. That's kind of neat to hear. And there was a woodpecker out this direction. But the reason I brought you back, guys, I'm going to show you what I got right here. This is my dinner for the night. It's spaghetti. Like I said, I dehydrated it myself. Going to rehydrate it right down in the Ziploc bag. Just to let you know, this is BPA free. Made sure of that. And basically I vacuum sealed them after I dehydrated them. So definitely good to go. I think I dehydrated them about 2 months ago, so they should definitely be still in good shape. Just keep them in a nice dry dark cabinet, you know, where it stays cooler. You know, they hold for a while, definitely, you know, 6 months, maybe even a year, especially if they're vacuum sealed like that. So that's what I'm gonna have tonight. I'd probably take about 8 to 10 ounces of water, and I'm probably gonna fix that here in about an hour. I'll probably get hungry about that point. Sunset is, well, actually be on my watch. Let's take a look. 8:44 today, so it is now 5:55. So we still got a good 3 hours of daylight, probably a little over actually. Being up on a ridge here, it's, you know, not going to get dark immediately as soon as the sun goes below the horizon. Heard a number of planes as well, as you can tell right there going by. But very peaceful, very enjoyable night. Just not much breeze. I wish that would pick up. It's kind of humid, so I'm still kind of hot. But if the breeze would kind of pick up a little bit, I'm hoping I'll cool off some. The low tonight is only supposed to get down to about 68, and it is supposed to be humid, so without a breeze, I might be a little warm sleeping tonight, guys. Have my 40-degree down sleeping bag. You've seen this setup before. Have my hammock, you know, the sleeping bag in there, pillow. This is actually just a rain cover for the hammock. It actually doesn't really give much protection as far as warmth. I don't really need it. I've actually used this particular setup right here all the way down to 55 degrees and been comfortable. Now I am a warm sleeper, so I actually recommend, you know, 65 and up, maybe even 60 and up. You can probably get away with that if you're comfortable with it being, you know, a little bit cooler. Like I said, 55 felt great for me. I have gone in and not even used the rain cover in heat like this. I paid for it because I actually got some bug bites through the hammock. I guess the fabric isn't thick enough to prevent some bugs from biting. So that actually happened over at Charles C. Dean Wilderness down next to the lake when Alex and I went a couple of years ago. So I do bring that rain cover in now. Plus if it rains, you know, my hammock won't get wet either, but not that I have to worry about now. You know, it's not supposed to rain tonight, but I figure I don't have to worry about getting bit by bugs with that rain cover there. So that's one reason I bring that in. And I sleep comfortably in the summer with it. So as long as the temperature is supposed to be above 60, that's what I'll use. And it definitely saves weight because that only weighs like 3 ounces, 4 ounces, something like that. You know, a typical underquilt weighs, you know, anywhere from a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, depending on what, you know, weight, what type of material you use. And so that's what I use. You've seen that on the channel before. Like I said, I don't have any new backpacking equipment. It's been basically using the watch and of course the new phone or new camera with all of its new setup and stuff. But like I said, I brought you back to show you what I'm gonna have for dinner. We'll do that here in a little bit and just continue enjoying the night, guys. I mean, I'm having a blast out here. So I got my food down in cook pouch now. I don't know if some of you guys have ever seen this. A lot of times I've been doing a lot of backpacking meals, but when I dehydrate meals or something like that, I use a cook pouch. I made this cook pouch like 7 years ago. It's actually out of a car reflector, you know, like something you set in your front windshield to, you know, alleviate some of the sun and heat in the summer. Yeah, I just cut that down. I made like 6 or 8 of them about 7 years ago, one for everybody in the family. And I've used that one ever since. It's still holding up strong. We still have about 4 or 5 of them floating around the house. So, but you know, if you use the backpacking meals and stuff like that, they come in their own pouch that has its own reflective type stuff in it. But this actually works really good for your undehydrated meals. It's pretty simple. Just a little bit of duct tape. I use red just to make it look kind of neat, and it used to be bright red. And then the car reflectix, that's it. And this is the water I use. So instead of 13 ounces, I still got maybe a couple ounces in there I might be able to take down. And we'll just put that back into the water bottle once it cools off a little bit, or I may just sip on it. You know, hot water is not going to hurt anything. I don't know. It's pretty hot. But yeah, I'm gonna let that set. That'll probably set maybe 10, 12, 15 minutes depending on how long it might take. And then I'll be ready to eat. It's just like having a backpacking food, like doing backpackers pantry or mountain house or something like that. It's just like that, only I made it at home myself. So it's really cool. Just thought I'd bring that out. I've got like, I think 5 packs of that, so should last me a few trips. Yeah, I've got other stuff that I can take as well. Of course, like I said, tomorrow night we're doing the mountain house stroganoff, which would be awesome. That's one of my favorites. Haven't tried them all, but tried a few. I'd say this is probably good enough to eat. It's been in here for about 12 minutes. So what do you think, guys? Looks like spaghetti, don't it? A little warm, but looks like spaghetti. Kinda neat. See what it tastes like. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I hope it turned out okay. Yeah, it didn't get too much water in it. Looks like it rehydrated pretty well. This is a big test. There's a big piece of hamburger. Let's see. Yeah, it's soft. Noodles are done. You know, they're not too starchy. It actually tastes almost like it when I first made it. I mean, yeah, it does lose some of the flavor when you dehydrate, but it's good enough here on trail. Oh, hot. Especially when you can't do a fire and cook, this worked great. And here at Germantown, unfortunately, they don't allow fires. You know, I understand, you know, they don't want, you know, the forest burned down. Plus, you are kind of close to people's homes. In fact, I mean, just right up the road, there's multiple homes just right off the trailhead where I parked at. That if, you know, something caught fire up in here, it could take those homes out in a day. So I fully understand why they have that rule. I mean, you do have some people that come up here and do a fire responsibly, but a lot of people don't know how to do that. Oh yeah, that's hitting the spot. It's a lot of spaghetti. Probably cut that down. Might have to make half that next time, because that's a lot. I ain't gonna be able to eat all this. That's gonna suck. May have to. I don't know. I guess I'll have to carry it out. I may have to eat it in the morning or something. I don't know. We'll see. Well, guys, it's about 8 o'clock. The sun is slowly starting to track down the sky there. Like I said, about 8:45 is sundown. I've got everything battened down, finished up dinner. Got my food bag up, as you can see. Went ahead and just put it on up there. I don't figure I'm going to eat anymore. I did eat every bit of that spaghetti. Kind of struggled there at the end, but I got it down, so all good. I should not want anything to eat until morning for sure. Just been kind of listening to the woods now. You know, a lot of crickets. I've heard a couple of owls. And some birds mainly. I did see a couple of chipmunks. Nothing major going on. Kind of peaceful, really quiet in the woods for the most part. The traffic has died down over here on the road. Haven't heard anything for a little bit. Did hear a truck while I was finishing up dinner, which was about 20 minutes ago. Other than that, yeah, really peaceful. Got my toiletries out, going to brush my teeth. I'll get my contacts out here in a few minutes. And it won't be long after that. I'll probably lay down in the hammock. I may not go to sleep immediately, but I'll be in there. Kind of be in there and just kind of stretched out, relaxing, and just letting the muscles unwind some. You know, I'm not really super stiff or anything. Not like I've hiked a lot today, but I want to prepare for tomorrow because I intend to try to do at least, I believe it's at least 8. Could probably push up upwards of about 12, depending on which way I go. And now, just kind of enjoying this time of night. This is always a peaceful time, just before it gets dark. Really, all you hear is kind of the crickets, the bugs, and such. Little bit of owls. You know, the traffic has died down, so yeah, very peaceful. It's starting to cool off a little bit. Still very humid. If it wasn't if it wasn't so humid, it would be very comfortable, but the humidity is kind of egging on the night here, making it a little bit hard to kind of get comfortable. I'll probably end the video very shortly. I just call it a night, but I just wanted to comment on how you know as it gets close to dark, just such a peaceful time in the woods, you know. But yeah, I think more than anything, I'd like to shed this shirt and just start trying to cool off some. It's just so hot and muggy. I think that's really the only thing that's bothered me today. It wasn't so much the hiking or setting up or doing anything like that. It was the heat. If it wasn't for humidity, man, it'd be really comfortable tonight. It's a really nice night. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to let you go for the night. There's not going to be much I'm going to do after it gets dark. Like I said, probably literally crawl in here and stretch out. I do have good cell signal. I might watch a little bit of TV. I've got my Kindle with me. It's like the one luxury I brought besides the chair. It weighs like 6 ounces. So, you know, I like reading, and if I get a chance to on trail, I do. So I may actually read on it a little bit tonight too. That kind of helps me wind down from the day, and then I can rest decent. So I might do that. Other than that, yeah, guys, I'm probably going to say goodnight to you guys for now. We'll see you in the morning, of course. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It definitely helps out here at the channel. And of course, liking it shares it along YouTube's algorithm. Also, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, make sure you hit up the section down below. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. We like interacting with our subscribers and our viewers as much as possible, and it's great to be back and be able to share some of our adventures with you again. You know, of course, right now, just me, but in the future, it'll be some other people. Me and Jenny actually have a vacation scheduled in about a month, and you guys will probably come along with us for the few nights that we'll be out for that. Until tomorrow, guys, always remember to live your grand adventure to the fullest. I'll see you on the trail in the morning. Until then, guys, take care. So long.